Someone feels remorseful for what they did to you in the past. But my beloved child, the air around you holds a tremor of unfinished sentences, and the clock leans ahead as if it already knows what the following hour will bring. The person who once walked away with pride now walks back with humility stitched into every heartbeat. Don't skip because something huge is waiting for you. In a quiet room, the voice that used to sound far away is now practicing your name and making a confession that both burns and heals. The apology has become too burdensome to bear any longer without being released. The truth, like a sunrise that won't stay hidden, is waiting for the call to come. Clears throat, the guilt inside them matured into courage and courage has matured into action. Today does not seem like yesterday because remorse has learned the language of duty. You are on the verge of being remade by a scene that once broke you. Your story did not collapse. It stopped, silently gathered witnesses, and got ready for a better second act. The evidence sits in their chest. A never-sent letter. A present never offered. A promise never fulfilled. Now all those unsent things step forward with quivering hands and ask for their chance. Your generosity was not wasted. Something that would not die was implanted in them by it. Every time they attempted to forget you, strangers and street lights reflected your patience back to them. Their pride cracked, and through the crack, the need to make it right grew like light on water. There's a big event waiting for you, so don't skip. In the same spot where it once learned agony, your heart gains fresh strength. You take control of how the past is put into the future when the script is flipped. The call is gentle and certain, like rain before a storm. They demand to speak without defense, to admit without justification, to honor what was damaged. They expect to ask for a chance to rebuild brick by honest brick. Silence ends and a new language begins. Clear, stable, and responsible. The first sentence will carry a tremble. There will be a tear in the second. The key will be carried by the third. Your inner door is aware of this knock and is ready to wisely open. Your boundaries radiate like a dim halo, sturdy and tranquil. It is not forgetfulness to forgive. It's the decision to only carry what makes breathing easier. The future submits to the person who refuses to remain blind and resentful. Something significant is waiting for you, and it arrives with proof. Timelines and screenshots, dates and memories, all arranged like stepping stones across a river. The apology comes not as a favor to them, but as justice to you. Before you say anything, your serenity surveys the space. Your spirit senses the genuineness like warm sunshine through closed eyes. The season of unanswered why gives way to witnessed how they are about to call to express their feelings and expect to be allowed the dignity of truth. They want to be heard, not worshipped, pardoned, absolved, put to the test, or punished. Clarity is the measure, and you are the one holding it. There's a big event waiting for you, so don't skip. The past appears to give back what was taken. The present offers to protect you while you decide what remains. A pair of trembling hands just turned up the volume on bravery, so lean in. Only they can hear the countdown on their breast, and when your phone illuminates, the number drops to 0. This is not a message typed at midnight. This voice is calling itself by name. They acknowledge the long-standing covert motivation and give it a perfume-free name. They talk about how their worry was disguised as apathy that night and how it never suited. They admit that your patience made their triumphs seem meaningless. The weight of particular moments is carried by the call. The street where you waited, the present you offered, the promise they broke, the day they laughed too loudly to disguise a flinch. Every information arrives like a key returned to the proper owner. Your spirit tells you not to skip because something enormous that takes the form of closure is waiting for you. Closure does not implore you to return. It challenges you to move forward unrestrained. There is no demand in the apology. You make the decision after it presents. They talk of a pivotal moment, a peaceful morning, a name on a billboard, or a song that had your favorite phrase. They talk about having a conversation with someone who called them out strongly and gently while mirroring your grace. They claim that after discovering the truth, they were able to discover who they were. They are going to phone to let you know how they feel and to seek for permission to love you during the day. They are expecting to earn with regularity what they lost with arrogance. They hope to demonstrate that accountability looks more like everyday life than spectacular events. Your heart is still in charge. Your voice doesn't waver. Like runway lights directing a cautious landing, your boundaries stay illuminated. There is something enormous in store for you. It exhales with a sense of relief. Relief that properly files history without erasing it. Relief that expands the capacity of your lungs beyond what morning ever permitted. You accept this time with discernment if it is beneficial to your path. If not, you honorably let it go. In any case, you prevail because the architecture of your life is restored by the truth. In any case, tomorrow opens its hand and lets go of its fist. Your choice creates a new atmosphere for your days, so don't skip. Your generosity never goes away, but it does learn to wear armor built of dignity. Your hope does not go away, but it does learn to bargain with facts. Share this message with someone who needs bravery if you were moved by this story. Subscribe to the next chapter that keeps you strong and leave a comment with one word that identifies your boundaries. For other travelers along the same shore, your interaction serves as a beacon. For hearts that believed the storm would never end, your voice transforms the weather. Now hear the silent evidence that comes after courageous words. Calendars move, schedules adjust, and the person who previously wandered arrives on time. Patterns that are detrimental to you disappear, while patterns that are beneficial to you show up like new paint on an old wall. They present an offer with a schedule and a plan. Transparency becomes the norm rather than the exception. Rather than the performance, consistency becomes the rhythm. Your soul searches for alignment by looking behind the surface. Both tenderness and accountability submit to your limits. Because mending is a long-lasting form of romance, they prefer it to romance. Don't miss it because something significant is in store for you, and it appears to be an apology for cleaning up yesterday's mess. They appear to be respecting your quiet without becoming alarmed. They appear to be respecting your affirmative without hurrying. They treat your hands with reverence, treating them like a priceless heirloom. They add patience to your day as a buffer against a harsh reality. Like a secure lock that eventually shuts, they surround your name with protection. Your soul selects what to keep. What to test is determined by your wisdom. When to dance is up to your joy. They anticipate receiving calm clarity when they call to share their emotions. They anticipate hearing the conditions of your tranquility and accepting them with appreciation. They anticipate remaining motionless long enough for trust to take root. As the narrative progresses, you take on the role of term author. Your paragraphs are no longer edited by the past. The future speaks in schedules instead of riddles. There's something enormous waiting for you that relieves an anguish you've stopped naming aloud. It satisfies the part of you that yearned for an action-oriented apology. It satisfies the part of you that yearned for time-consuming devotion. Your strength sits calmly, steadying rather than intimidating. Your love grows wiser rather than diminished. Your life develops like a letter that has finally received the address, the stamp, and the bravery to be delivered. The next 5 minutes will teach you how to be respected without being adored, so don't miss it. They teach you how to be loved without being subjugated. They teach you how to be trusted without putting yourself through hardship. This is the time to practice your breathing. The offer is waiting on the table like bread after a long fast, the phone rings, and the apology comes to life. With a hand that no longer trembles, you make your decision. You swallow your voice and accept the truth. You acknowledge the possibility without discarding your evidence. You don't act as though the past never happened, instead, you embrace the future. A great thing is waiting for you, and it takes the shape of unwavering self-respect, so don't miss it. Your decision turns into a ritual. Your boundaries turn into verbal vows. If you rebuild, you do it slowly with calendars, with checkpoints, with honesty that does not flinch. When you let go, you do so gently and with lessons learned, blessings, and selfless gratitude. You can keep your crown where it belongs by taking either route. They are going to call to let you know how they feel, and they anticipate that you will respect your choice without question. They are expecting to serve the truth they finally met. They are expecting to stand tall without standing over you. Your heart remains the compass. The horizon is still your future. Your peace remains the homeland. Something huge is waiting for you and it bends the light in your favor. Your days gather under a sky that finally feels like a friend. Your nights return your sleep without bargaining. You become the safe place your younger self needed. You become the promise your older self can trust. You become the standard that love must meet to stay. Don't skip because the next version of you steps forward. Now the apology knocks, the courage answers, and the wisdom sits at the head of the table. The story finishes with your dignity and begins with your joy. My beloved child, tonight bears a pulse that seems different. The air itself seems to whisper your name as if heaven already knows what's coming next. Don't skip because something tremendous is waiting for you and it starts before the sun even rises. They're pacing across their room, replaying every moment they took for granted. Their hands tremble when they view your photo since it no longer belongs to the past. It's a mirror showing them what they destroyed. Their heart beats with a rhythm of guilt and hope colliding. They draft the message again and again, erasing words that sound too soft or too rehearsed. Nothing seems good enough to cover the hurt they inflicted. They finally realize that no apology is powerful unless it carries the weight of action behind it. They mumble to themselves that this time there would be no fleeing, no games, no pride, no delay. Because this moment, this apology is not about comfort. It's about truth. There's a big event waiting for you, so don't skip. The clock strikes closer to the hour and heaven aligns the chance they yearned for but never believed they'd earn. Your name rings in their head like a prayer they don't deserve to express. They scan through their album, stopping at the last shot where you were smiling without knowing it would be the last time. The guilt in their eyes burns like fever. They ultimately realize to themselves they broke something irreplaceable, and the only way to restore it is through honesty. Every soul that wrongs another must face the mirror of truth someday. That mirror stands before them now and reflects your grace. The angels have been guiding their path back to you not for romance but for redemption. Their apology is not just for words, they are ready to reveal what they concealed, says Archangel Michael. They are trembling, holding the phone, typing and deleting, typing again, and heaven is watching as they get ready to confess everything you were supposed to know years ago. This is the final piece of your piece, so don't skip it. It's not an excuse. The moment arrives. Your phone buzzes once, then again. Their name flashes across your screen like a ghost turning into a human again. You hesitate, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Your heart has learned to pause before it bleeds. Yet something within you whispers. This time, listen differently. The voice on the other end is shaking. It's raw, stripped, no longer decorated with ego or excuses. Every syllable carries a piece of their truth. Every breath carries an old regret. Finally finding air. They admit the lie that changed everything. The person who whispered poison into their ears, the manipulation, the misunderstanding. They tell you the exact moment they realized they had hurt the only person who truly stood by them. Don't skip because something huge is waiting for you. This call is not a performance. It's a reckoning. They speak as if each word could repair one of the wounds they created. Tears fall from both sides. Yours not from weakness. Theirs not from guilt alone. It's release. The sound of pain transforming into clarity. The sound of two souls finally exhaling after years of solitude. Archangel Michael explains, forgiveness is not about forgetting. It's about freeing your wings. And in that moment, you feel lighter. The story that once weighed on your chest now begins to dissolve. They tell you they've changed, not overnight, but through nights spent facing their shadow. They tell you about the sleepless nights, the prayers they whispered in shame, the apologies they practiced but never dared to send, and now that they're done running, something enormous is waiting for you, and it's not them, it's peace, the kind of peace that arises when the universe realizes you were always the one who loved with purity. The kind of peace that doesn't need validation because it already carries victory. Don't skip because what's next rewrites everything you thought was final. You listen, but you don't crumble. You breathe, but you don't rush. The storm inside you no longer destroys. It transforms. You realize the apology isn't the ending. It's your beginning. You feel the strength that was buried beneath heartbreak rise to the surface like fire meeting oxygen. The version of you that once waited is gone. The one who leads has arrived. Don't skip because something huge is waiting for you. The universe bends to honor those who survive truth with grace. Every tear you ever cried becomes currency for blessings yet to unfold. You speak not to blame, but to confirm your healing. You tell them you heard every word, but forgiveness doesn't mean return. You tell them you wish them peace, but your peace is finally your own. The silence that follows isn't awkward. It's sacred. It's the sound of boundaries being respected, of two souls parting with dignity. You hang up, not shattered, not bitter, but renewed. Archangel Michael exclaims, "Your power was never revenge. It was restoration." Heaven has recorded your endurance and prepared double the blessings for your patience. What was taken unjustly will return multiplied. You look around your space and suddenly it feels lighter. The world greets you differently the following morning, the sunlight feels warmer and your reflection smiles effortlessly. The air hums with a new frequency, and even the walls seem to breathe relief as if the energy of regret has finally left. Don't skip because something huge is waiting for you. The call may have ended, but destiny has just begun. Dialing your next miracle. This is what freedom feels like. Truth without tension. They send one final message. Thank you for listening. You didn't owe me that. And you reply, peace be with you. That's all. No lingering, no begging, just peace. What you don't see is how heaven celebrates that moment. Forgiveness opened a portal for your blessings to rush in unhindered. A door opens where there was once only a wall, opportunities begin to arrive unexpectedly, and favor follows you like a faithful guardian. Archangel Michael claims that the past apologized so the future could move forward. Every delay, rejection, and betrayal was preparation for the clarity you now possess. Don't skip because something enormous is waiting for you, and this time it's for you alone. Your timeline does, in fact, change. People who once ignored you now see your light. Love that once fled from you now seeks you out. This is your reward for perseverance rather than perfection. You remained kind in a cruel world. You remained honest when others hid behind lies. And you remained open when pain begged you to close. Don't skip because your next chapter doesn't start with an apology. It starts with abundance. You walk differently now. Each step carries quiet confidence, not because of who hurt you, but because of who you became despite it. Your aura speaks before your mouth does. Doors open where you once knocked in vain. The apology was a seed, but the harvest is peace, wealth, and divine recognition. People approach you with respect rather than presumption, and deep down you realize something holy. You didn't need their apology to begin healing. All you needed was time, truth, and divine timing. Don't skip because something enormous is waiting for you. The person who wronged you will watch from a distance as your life blossoms, not out of retaliation but as evidence that pain cannot imprison purpose. You fully forgive them, not for them but for your own flight. Archangel Michael now stands next to you, whispering, "You did it. What you went through did not break you. It built the throne you are sitting on."